a lot of you listening to this, myself included, in the past have used these what ifs situations to create and demolish ourselves. With that in mind, these what if situations of what if I don't get the job? What if I don't pass the test? What if I don't succeed? What if my business fails? What if I buy the house and then I have to give it back to the bank? These what ifs will drive us crazy. They will drive us insane. They'll drive us to a place that we can't think for ourselves. Our subconscious mind is running in a rabbit hole that we are not able to stop. Now, we also have the opportunity to use these what ifs to slow things down and to build a kingdom over time. These what ifs questions are so powerful to either go the negative way or the positive way. These what ifs will literally move us to building our kingdom or to destroy our kingdom. I prefer to help myself build my kingdom, and I'm sure you can say the same. Welcome back to the Prosperous Life Podcast. This is Braiden Belnap. Thank you so much again for showing up on another week. I really do appreciate each and every one of you that show up each and every week. It means a lot to me, but I know it means a lot to you in this world, as transformation starts with one. When you transform, your family transforms, and it's a Doppler effect over time. With that in mind, today we are talking about what ifs. What if this life is amazing? What if this world's amazing? What if that even when there's bad, there's actually good? What if even when we see a situation not so serving, that maybe it's the most beautiful thing for us? What ifs used to break me, used to be my biggest bully. Yet now these what ifs actually build me up, so that I can build an extraordinary life in life for myself and this world. Now, this is truly for you, whether you're drowning in your thoughts, you're drowning on a daily basis with these what ifs and creating these realities that are not serving you, or if you're the one that's built something extraordinary in life with your thoughts and your mind. Now, unfortunately, a lot of you listening to this, myself included, in the past have used these what ifs situations to create and demolish ourselves. With that in mind, these what if situations of what if I don't get the job? What if I don't pass the test? What if I don't succeed? What if my business fails? What if I buy the house and then I have to give it back to the bank? These what ifs will drive us crazy. They will drive us insane. They'll drive us to a place that we can't think for ourselves. Our subconscious mind is running in a rabbit hole that we are not able to stop. Now, we also have the opportunity to use these what ifs to slow things down and to build a kingdom over time. These what ifs questions are so powerful to either go the negative way or the positive way. These what ifs will literally move us to building our kingdom or to destroy our kingdom. I prefer to help myself build my kingdom, and I'm sure you can say the same. Now, we want to begin to transform all these what if situations. Transforming these what if situations and these what if thoughts alone will transform our lives. Such a simple thing will transform our lives. It's normal nowadays to be negative. It's normal nowadays to say, hey, what if I don't get this job? Hey, what if my business fails? Hey, what if I lose my house? Hey, what if I get fired? What if I get sick? What if I get cancer? What if I get COVID nowadays? What if? Great. When you ask that what if question, your mind is focusing on that. And where you focus your mind is exactly where you're going to go. So it's normal to be negative, but it's not serving you. So we don't need to be there anymore. We're going to transform that today. We don't need to sit there anymore. We don't need to do the normal things of life. With that in mind, let's begin to switch those what if situations in your life. What is when we get a what if situation? So let's say I'm applying for a job and I get, what if I don't get this job? We want to grab that before it really hits us, and we want to be able to understand it. Okay, where is this thought coming from? I guess we're trying to be interrupted here. Okay, so great. Let's understand that. Let's take a moment and really understand where that's coming from. Is this coming from yourself? Is this coming from a parent, societies, friends, family, cousins? Where is this coming from? And let's question it. Well, is this really true? Is it really that bad if I not get this job? What's the worst case scenario? Really begin to dive deep into the evidence base of, if I don't get this job, is it really that big of a deal? Maybe it will be, but maybe, what if it's the best thing for me? What if there's an opportunity from not getting this job? What if by not getting this job, I get offered another job that creates me to be a multimillionaire? What if the job that I thought was a dream job is actually not, and the job that comes after that is the thing that will actually create me to be able to create an extraordinary life? So we want to transform it, just as I've done. What do you want to transform it to? What if I do get this job? What if I go into this job and I don't get the job? What if I go into this job interview and I don't get the job interview, but I meet somebody going in this journey of trying to get this job that leads me down a greater journey? We want to transform that, and we want to take action upon that. So even though when you change these what if situations, you are now able to go into it full-heartedly with extraordinary action, which will give you extraordinary results. So you can be confident in that interview that whether you get that job or whether you don't, you're confident that the right result will pan out for you. Now, just because we want something and we want to manifest something doesn't mean it comes to us. It needs to take action. But what these what if questions allow for is for you to show up fully in the moment and to drive the result that's best for you. So we did it with the job. You can apply that to anything. Again, it's normal to beat yourself up. Not anymore. Minor shifts, again, will lead to being a prosperous life, although most people are their own bullies. So minor shifts, whether, again, in the positive or minor shifts in the negative, can lead to great results in the negative or positive way. So we all are our biggest bullies. Or I should say, at some point, we're our biggest bullies. Most of you guys are your biggest bullies. You may be able to talk about the one person that was a jerk to you. Some people were actually really bullied, and that's something to not be silent about. We want to talk about that so we can shut that down. Although a lot of us are our biggest bullies. That's normal. Again, we don't need to do normal things nowadays. We can do extraordinary things, make these little shifts in our lives so that we can be our own best friend. Now, take into consideration, our negative mindset can be our biggest best friend. For instance, before this podcast, I had a lot of imposter syndrome about it, to be honest with you. I had thoughts tell me that I couldn't, that I wasn't qualified to do that. I had a lot of thoughts coming into it. I transformed those thoughts. I'm here, right? I didn't let them stop me. But it did take transformation over time. I had thoughts come into my mind, hey, you've never been on video before. You've never done a podcast before, so who are you to do this? And I took that, and it was right. I didn't have the credentials. I've never done a podcast before. Although that gave me the power that as soon as I got my first podcast out, I had now had the credentials that I've been on a podcast, that I know what I'm doing. So optimize your negative mindset, your bully, transform it to be your best friend, and recognizing that it's just pinpointing where you can grow in life. And if you optimize that voice, you will live an extraordinary life. Now, when you start to beat yourself up and you're being your bully, just start to ask those positive what if questions. If you're in your head and your voice is like speaking 1,000,000 miles an hour of all these what ifs and possibilities and creating this reality in your mind, just take a step back and ask yourself this one question. What if it all works out? What if it all works out? Maybe it's not the result that I was thinking what was going to be best. But if you think about it, when you look back onto your life, it all makes sense, right? You can say, oh, well, I'm actually grateful for that thing that was bad, that I thought was bad in that time, because now it served me in these areas. Moving forward, we don't quite have that clarity. It's not quite put together in a movie sense where we still have the opportunity to write it out. So in this moment, it's going to create our next moment, which creates our next moment, which creates our next moment. So if we're winning in this moment, the likelihood of us winning our next moment is very high. So ask yourself, what if it all works out? It'll slow everything down for you. And when you slow down, you're able to move that needle forward a lot quicker. Begin to love yourself the way you would love somebody else. Begin to love yourself the way you love a parent, a friend, a family member, brother, sister, spouse. Begin to ask those questions that you would ask them. If they were chasing a dream and they wanted to start a business and they were thinking, hey, what if it doesn't work out? You're going to say, yeah, it probably won't work out. No, you're going to take a step back and you're going to let them know that you think they're going to be successful. And you're going to ask them, what if it all works out? What if you do succeed? What if you do succeed in your dreams? I used to be my biggest bully. I used to be in my head at night, to the morning time, to during school, to when I was walking around. It's not fun to be our biggest bully, and we don't need to be in that place anymore. It's a normal thing that society has taught us subconsciously, and we don't need to be there anymore. Social media teaches comparison. At school, it teaches you to judge yourself to somebody else. At school and society, we're taught to be the normal instead of the difference or the outlier. So yeah, we don't need to do the normal things anymore. You can begin to live a prosperous life. I truly believe that everyone's capable of being their own best friend. It just has to take some work. And today, if there's one thing that I would suggest to you, if there's one question that you'll remember, it's what if everything works out? Today, short, sweet, simple. Just begin to transform these what if questions that you have in your head to be positive and move you forward, to shut those voices down so that you can think clearly and you can move the needle moving forward. Thank you so much again for showing up to this podcast each and every week. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this podcast, I encourage you to go to the show notes to read and get those important snippets. I also encourage you to go to the show list where you can find other podcasts that you may be interested in. Now subscribe, leave a review, and reach out to me at Braiden Belnap on social media. I'd love to connect, talk to you, and learn what I can and cannot do better. With that in mind, you have a wonderful rest of your week.